hertz, people actually get a chance to play Rage. Because one of the things about Rage is diversity. All the different elements. There's vehicle, combat and driving. There's weapons, ammo types, engineering items, mutants, bandits, authority. We're kind of giving you a little taste of all of it. You know, took sections of the game, little snippets of it, and we're offering like 6 different snippets for people to you know, have fun in. You know, when we talk about technology as a designer and a game player is this way. How good does it look, and how fast does it run? That's the things that matter. So we have a really diverse, uniquely textured game, but we get to run it at 60 hertz, and that means a lot for the fundamental feedback of a shooter. So that's the biggest thing for me. We get all these diverse, cool-looking environments, and we get to do it all at 60 frames a second. The real answer is it's not really like any one of those games. Fallout is post-apocalyptic, a nuclear weapon goes off. Borderlands is some crazy thing on a planet where you're like a bounty hunter. Our game is a giant asteroid hits the planet, and it's really just this cool fiction to twist and distort the world into a way we want. And one of the biggest things it allows us to do is again, it's diversity. You're not fighting the same group of bandits. Every single bandit clan is different. Then you run into mutants, and then you run into mutants your size, and then mutants, you know, 2 stories tall, and mutants 10 stories tall. Then you get this crazy sci-fi presence that we're showing off for the first time, the Authority. It's really a lot different. It doesn't have that traditional exposed stat RPG, but it does have an economy. You can manipulate the economy to play the game you want. It does have these engineered items that you put together. But at its heart, it's still a first-person shooter at the core. So you go around the corner, the fundamental AI and the fidelity of that gameplay has to be there from an id shooter. So that, above all, is what we have and kind of differentiates us from those other games. Yeah, we try to give the player something new right around every corner, and we usually give you a new tool or toy to combat them, like a weapon or an ammo type. But mutants are pretty aggressive. You know, they'll run straight, especially the normal kind. They don't have guns and things. So they're climbing over environments trying to get to you, and they're mostly melee creatures, but they're fast and kind of furious. The bandits, you'll run into a bunch of different types. The first few you run into are not heavily armored at all, so they don't have armor pieces. They have very crude weapons. Later on, you'll have fully armored guys where you have to knock off the armor first, or maybe use a special ammo type. So it's really about this evolution of the enemy as you move through the story. The way all these engineered items work is similar. It all goes into this quick use system. And we call it quick use because it's nice and accessible, right? You hit select, hit a button. The most familiar thing to relate it to is like an offhand grenade. But now you can select a grenade and throw that, but also now you get these wing sticks. And again, the fiction allows us to do all this crazy stuff. So now you have this crazy 3-prong boomerang type object that you throw out, decapitate a mutant, and it comes right back to you. And you can build these, or you can buy them. But we also have things like defensible turrets. You throw them down, and they kind of protect you if you want to be a kind of pull-back player. We also have sentry bots, though. You throw out this little spider robot that you build anywhere in the game, and he'll go around and fight alongside of you. So even between the different engineering types, some of them are a little more defensive, some of them are offensive, but there's a lot there. We tried to make each one as meaningful as possible. So we've always kind of targeted the consoles, and again, 60 hertz, we want it to look good. There's parity on all the different platforms. If you're a PC player, you'll always get higher resolution, more anti-aliasing, so there'll be things that give you higher visual fidelity if you have a high-end PC. But really, the gameplay and when you play it, it was built with the consoles in mind, so we pretty much have platform parity. I would buy it on the console or the platform I enjoy playing shooters on, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. Yeah, I think people that play games on PCs probably know of id Software, especially the ones that have been around a while. They know what John likes to do, and we kind of foster the whole mod community, and we don't know what level of support or how we'll put it together, but it's guaranteed that we'll be releasing a set of tools for people to make mods and do things with Rage and the technology. So we don't have a specific number of gameplay hours, and of course for a game like this, even though it is directed, it is still open, right? So if you, in the main storyline, if you take out the bandits and kill them out of their place where they live, maybe mutants take over and you're offered another job to go and clear out mutants or do some other mission. Those are side missions, of course. The main story-focused campaign is pretty long. It's going to be longer than what you would expect from a traditional crafted shooter, but not as long as like an open RPG. You want every moment to be memorable and well crafted. But at the same time, if you're a racing fan, you can take part in a dozen races that you may not want to if you're just trying to get through the main story. There's a lot there. It's a pretty deep game, and it's going to depend on how you play it, how long it's going to be. Our goal was always to make this deep, rich, story-focused, single-player game. Co-op is a natural extension of that. So we kind of carved out a piece of the story. It almost lies in parallel with the existing story. You and a buddy on the couch can play split screen. You and somebody across the world can play through these nice crafted missions that really do all the things that we do in single player, but now you're playing with someone else. So we have that. Then we thought the vehicles were something new and different. We didn't want to throw in deathmatch or throw in some team-based thing. We just thought you don't see a lot of vehicle multiplayer games. We put it in there, we tried it, we liked it, so now we're going to give that to the players. But we look at those things as added bonuses to the kind of deep single-player game. So when you're in town, I mean, they're simple little mini-games, but it makes the town feel alive, and we work in the fiction. As you're moving about the world, you find these little collector cards. I guess the people that live in this crazy, twisted world, that's one of their pastimes. They fight it out in Bash TV, but they also play this little card game. And it's just a little site. If you choose to play that, you can go to the card player in each of the towns and put a little wager, play against them depending on what cards you gathered. But there are things like, there's a simple dice game. But again, presentation-wise, it's done really nicely, and it's a fun little game. But we also have kind of this weird version of Five Finger Fillet, right. And a few other games that you'll find around the town. All right, so Rage is coming out on the PC, the Xbox 360, and the PS3, and it will all be released on October 4th in the US and October 7th in Europe.